Class. Today I learn English, American textbook reading, Science Grade 2, Lesson 3. Let's start. Now, the first one we have adaptation. So adaptation is a body part or a behavior that helps living things meet its needs. So look at this giraffe. The giraffe changes by the adaptation that it lives in. So when it lives in a big forest full of tall trees, it needs to roll to eat these trees to survive. So they need to roll their long necks up so they can eat the big branches so they can survive. Okay, so look at this giraffe. It's rolling from stump by stump so it can have a very long neck to eat the big trees, very big and large trees. They have very big branches, and how they eat? They need to roll with these. Now we have camouflage. Camouflage is a very long word. Now look at this bear. You can see that this is a white bear that's in snowy weather, right? So now, camouflage is the color or the shape that helps an animal hide by its enemy. So when there's an enemy running after it, going to chase it, going to eat it, it can camouflage to be like a leaf or blends in the place where it's near and down. Now look at this white fox. Now look at this. When they're living in the winter time, you can see that it changes the color's fur. Now, it is very hard for other animals to find it, right? Because it's white like the snow too. So it's very hard to know, to identify. Look at another wolf. It has the same colors as the snow. So that means it is camouflaging, right? So these were the camouflaging so that they won't be eaten by other animals, right? Like bears. They can even catch others' food and enemies for it to eat. They can hide and then jump out to catch them. So camouflage is very important for animals. Next we have carnivore. A carnivore is an animal that only eats meats. A carnivore is the top of the food chain. It's at the top of the food chain. So that means a carnivore is at the top of the food chain, the long food chain. It only eats meat. It doesn't eat any other plants, right? A carnivore is at the top. It's at the top, so it means it's not at the bottom of the food chain. So okay, we have food chain. So like this was a food chain. This is the plant. Next we have the deer. So the plant with the deer. Now the deer is the thing that will be eaten by wolves. So the wolf is the carnivore because it is animals that eat meat and is at the top of the food chain, right? So it may be the last animal in the food chain, in that food chain. So we have plants and then comes the deer that eats the plants. Now the wolf eats the deer, right? So very nice. Now a carnivore, look at this bear. It is catching a big fish so that it can live and it can eat it. It doesn't eat plants so much, so that means it needs to catch fish or other animals to eat so that it can survive. Right? It's at the top of the food chain. So that means it is the last thing, the last animal in the food chain. It's not the first animal that can be eaten. Okay? Next we have herbivore. Herbivore. Now when you heard the word herb, you know that it's kind of like a plant. So an herbivore is an animal that only eat plants. So look at this rabbit. It's in the rat's land. That means it's going to eat these rats. A rabbit is an herbivore. It is an example of a herbivore that you can know. These flying steel rats are all the foods that herbivores can eat, like the rabbit. Okay? So you can see that these animals usually not big, and they usually is not the last animal in the food chain. It's usually the first or maybe the second or others. Now wild. Being wild means living or growing in natural conditions. So look at these animals. They're the bald eagle and the tiger. So look at them. They're in the wild. They're not in the city, right? No, not in the city, of course. So if you're at house, if the animal is at house, it's the pet, then it means it's not wild. It's living in your house. Well, what about the zoo? No, it's living in a place that has people that take care of them. So wild means living or growing in natural conditions. So this is very different. They're usually out in the forest or in the nature, right? Usually these animals don't have people to take care of them. They usually take care by themselves. Wow, look at this word, spinny. Spinny have sharpening points like needles. So look at this fish. It has many sharp points, many sharp thorns like needles. So now let's watch a video about this fish and see. It's very, very nice. It looks so interesting, right? Okay, so now let's take a look at this video. We have this very big fish, and it is swimming in the sea. Now, next we have shape. Shape. What is shape? Shape is the outer form of something. Shape usually can form solids, right? So look at these shells. These shells have different shapes. Like these shells have a shape like a horn, or this one look like an oval, a star, a circle, maybe a square or rectangle. A shape outer from something else. It's different. So now let's look at this chart and let's see. We have herbivores. So what are herbivores? What do they eat? Herbivores only eat plants and they have flat teeth. Usually they have very flat teeth. Here are some examples of some herbivores. Horse, squirrels, rabbit, and extra. So you know there are many kinds of herbivores. Horse, squirrel, rabbit are some examples of them. What about carnivores? Carnivores eat other animals. They have very sharp teeth. They usually have very sharp teeth. Some examples of carnivores are lion, tiger, shark, extra. So maybe these carnivores are usually, if they eat meat, then they're usually very, very strong. Usually the king of the forest or the water ocean, right? They're very, very strong. The animals that are herbivores that eat plants are usually kinder and gentler. They're not strong, maybe angry like those animals. Now look at this horse. It is, like someone is washing his face. Oh, look at its teeth. Because its teeth is a little bit bad. It smells bad. That means people wash these teeth. Maybe this horse is in the zoo, right? Goodbye. See you next time.